We're going to pick up where we left off last time, and we're once again going to head across to this menu system on the left to start off with, and we can see this little plus icon. When we click on this, it allows us to add all different page types. So if you remember from the last chapter, we had a folder showing the about here. That's why we've got about us inside about, because the about is the folder and about us will be one of a number of pages in that drop down menu. I'm just going to show you some options that we have here. Blank page, this is what we'll be using on most cases here. So we've got 3 already here at the moment. We've then got page layouts. We can actually start with a template that Squarespace provides. This can be a really good effect if you are new to Squarespace or website builders. You don't have a clear understanding of design concepts and you just want to play it safe. Nothing wrong whatsoever with using page layouts. Scheduling is more for the built-in scheduling system, which is an additional cost and is optional in the system. We're not going to be covering that as part of this course. Blogs, we only add 1 blog unless there is a clear reason to add more than 1. This would be your news feed, and you'd add 1 blog section, then you would add multiple blog posts to that blog area. I'll show you that a bit later in this course. We've then got store. We will have a little chapter on e-commerce within this course, but not right now. Portfolio, again, this is more if you have a gallery heavy visual side to your work. I don't tend to use portfolios a huge amount. So again, we're not going to be covering that too much. Here we've got events, which is our event calendar. So it works very similar to the blog, where the blog looks at everything in the past. The event calendar shows everything from today into the future. Videos. This is a relatively new feature. I haven't spent a huge amount of time looking into this, but if you wanted to go down that niche of selling on-demand videos, that's an option for you. But again, we won't be covering that in this particular beginner to intermediate course. And finally, then we've got additional options here. We've got the folder, which we've already got here, and you can add a link to an external website or a document in our menu system. So if you have more than 1 website for your business, you can cross-link them using this effect here. So it will still add a page onto the menu system, but instead will link to a separate section altogether. We're going to add a blank page in this instance, and then I'll show you later on then how we can use page layouts. We're going to create a page called Our Team. Press enter, and now the page is made. And now we can move that into the menu system. I'm also going to create the same title, only this time it will be Team, as opposed to Our Team. And we'll show you what it's like with the page layouts selected. So here we've got a number of preset design options that we can choose from for this page. I'd recommend having a good look through, finding the right fit for you, and seeing if there's an option to add that in. So there's some good options here for compact page, and they're all designed by professionals, meaning that you can take the structure and work within the confines of this. If you're more creative, you might find that constraining, but the good news is you don't have to go down this route. But what we do have here is team templates. We've got this offset, left, right, right, left option. We've got side by side. We've got that vertical flow, so you just go through one at a time. And we've got a traditional grid structure. However, we're going to go down a different route, and we're going to add the blank section in instead. But I'm going to use this as a point of reference. So we'll go for this grid option here and call it Team. And then we'll delete the option that we don't like at the end. So there we go. By adding this section in, it's actually added these images into the image manager, which is what I wanted as well. But the first thing we can see is that it doesn't really tie in with the About Us page. So we see here we've got the title, we've got a subtitle. Underneath the About section, we've got that wave effect, we've got the silver. So if we jump from this to the team page, it's a little jarring seeing the difference between the two. So this is what we're going to address. First, we're going to click on Edit. We're going to add a new section. And from here now, we can add a design section similar to how we added a template page structure. Or we can go to our saved sections, and I'll be showing how to do this a bit later. We can actually set our own templates. And this is a very new feature in Squarespace that I'm very excited about. So we can click on that to select it, and it's now added into our page. From this point, we can delete the sections that we don't want. Or in fact, we can make it even easier on ourselves, remove that, save it, and then go to our About page, and we can save this section as a favorite. So if I click Edit, go to this section on the page, click on this heart icon to save the section, and now that's saved in that list that we just saw to be able to add into our new team page. Click Edit, Add Section, Saved Sections again, and now we've got this About Us section that we can add in, or should I say page title section. Put a new title. I'll leave the subtitle as the same. And now we've got the outline of our page. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete the other blank page because we can add the other section in the same page. So we don't need two versions of our team. In a moment, I'm going to go to the page settings to show how we can edit that as well. So I click on Edit Page. We're going to be going through this in more detail in future chapters, how to edit pages and sections. But again, here we can look at seeing if there's a team section on here. I think it's under People here. This is the type of style that I'm after. There's a consistent flow, and a later chapter will be discussing the flow from page to page to make sure that our website looks really uniform and really neat. And we can see loads of different styles here. Some of them are just way too busy to be effective. So I think we're going to go with this option here. Really simple. Our team section on the site. We've already got the names and the roles in there, which I'm more than happy with for this example. So that means now we can just remove this section. And then we've got a template from which we can change those settings. But ultimately, we've got a team page, all built from a template that we can edit. Those are some of the basics. But one thing we notice here now is because we created the page twice and we can't have two page names the same, or at least the URL string, so the bit that goes, if I just switch to preview mode, this bit after the website address, / then the name of the page, you can't have two pages the same. Squarespace won't allow it, so it'll change one of them so they don't match. So when we call this team instead of our team, it no longer does what I want it to do. So we can go into the page settings by clicking on the cog when we hover over the page name. And now we can change these settings. So I'm going to change it to our team, and I'm just going to copy Control-C and Control-V to paste. I'm going to paste those options in, including pasting in the URL slug. So I've actually pasted it in with capitals and a space between them. It's recognized that we shouldn't be having capitals in our URL slug or spaces. So the good news is Squarespace just fixes that for you automatically. So let's have a look at some of these other page settings before we save and finish this chapter. We've got the option to toggle the page into draft or live mode by selecting that enable option. We can apply a simple password that you can pass to people for an individual page. If there's a page that you've got under construction and you want stakeholders to view it without having a website login, you can just password protect the page and send them a link. Another option would be to leave it in the not link section down in this area. drag it down there, and if there's no direct links to that page, it's going to be very difficult for someone to find it. We have the option to duplicate a page. Now this is really handy if you want to mirror the same structure, so you can either save a section as favorite, as we did with this top section here, or we can duplicate the entire page and then change the content within that. We've already been through earlier setting the page's homepage and of course delete page. If we go to SEO, this is a really important area. If you want to rank on Google, you can put an SEO title in which needs keywords, words that relate to your business or organization, and an engaging description. Both of these will appear on a Google search results page. These advanced options we're not going to go through in this particular example. We're going to go back to General. We're happy with all the settings that we've got. So now we're going to press Save. And Squarespace should now save that page. I'll just jump to preview mode. We can go to About Us, where we can see that this overarching style has now been carried through to our team page. Next up, we might just tighten this up a little bit and make it more appealing. But the next chapter will be showing you how to manage much bigger websites using that menu system. Catch you next time.